Right, so welcome to this little video where I'm just going to do a quick overview and run of my little wilesco, I think it's D40 steam tractor. I'm just going to point out a few of its features and we'll steam out. First and probably most obvious and strangest thing about the D40 is that it's essentially supposed to be a traction engine, but it's got a steamroller front. And so the story goes that at the time, wilesco were only making the old smoky steamroller, and they didn't have the smoke boxes for the tractor prepared yet, so they released it like this as the first version of the traction engine. Of course, they refer to it as the tractor. And of course, those of you who have seen some of my earlier videos will know I normally run it with tyres, which does help with the traction because these are a bit too smooth and they don't grip very well. And so I normally have these tyres, but for the sake of the video, I've taken these off. No idea where you get those from, because these came with the engine when I bought it. And obviously this is a second-hand engine because wilesco don't make these anymore. And I'm just going to point out a few of its strange features, and some of you may notice that the canopy isn't on properly because the previous owner, where I bought this from, took the canopy off because it's a lot easier to run that way, but I put the canopy back on it because I like the look of it. I like the challenge of trying to run it with the canopy on, which does mean it's missing a few nuts and bolts, so it's really only held in on the back, which isn't ideal, but it does the job. Another thing which will become apparent when it's running is on a normal wilesco engine, when you put it in gear, this is your little gear lever, which will put the engine in gear. On most engines, that'll keep it in gear and it will drive along your patio or whatever. But for some reason with this one, it often slips out. It slips and falls out of gear. So I have to have this little piece of wood, which goes in there as a little wedge, to hold it in place, something like that. I think of course the little whistle there has got a little lever to operate it, a red lever, and your regulator handle is just there. That's open, that's closed, and that's closing it more, because you can run it going that way, which I used to run it like, but it often falls and shuts itself off, so it's better to run it with the regulator going that way because it's a bit stiffer. Of course, as per most, of course with the wilesco engines, they've got slip eccentric double acting cylinders, and well, this does have a little bit of play in the big end and the small end, and on the eccentric it does run very well, and as per most of them, they've got a little water gauge there. So I'll stop rambling now and I'll show you how I steam it up. With the fixed canopy on it, it does make it a bit difficult to fill the boiler up, and I used to use a small syringe, but that just took ages. And so there's a guy a while ago had a wilesco Showman's engine, and he did quite a good video. He's called, I think his channel's called Down from the Attic or something, and he does a lot of videos about like old toys and games and things like that. It's actually a really enjoyable channel. You should go and check him out if you haven't already. and he came up with this little idea that you put the funnel in there, and then the chimney, which attaches, goes in it like that, and you just pour it through the top of the chimney. So most people use distilled water, which is really what you should use, but I just use rainwater out of a water butt. Ideally you should really filter this stuff, but it works for me, so I'm just going to fill this up now. So now the boiler has filled it up, I can put some solid fuel tablets in the fire tray, put it in, and then I'll start to show you the oiling points on the engine. So the fire's now in, so what I can do is just take my oiling bottle, which I do need to really get refilled soon, and I've just got oil around. You just want a bit on everything that moves, and you need to take the little off there, the oiling cup, and then just put a few drops of oil on that and suck it in each time. Normally about 2 or 3 drops will do the job, and then just bang that back on. Try to do want to put the camera down because that's fiddly as anything. Then you just need a bit on all the moving parts. Little end, slide bar, big end, slip eccentric. And there's 2 little bearings on the inside that you can sort of see. It's one either side, and so you just put a bit of oil in them, and then that's really about it. And then you just wait for the steam pressure to rise. So I'll get back to you once that. So while it sits there and raises steam, I'm going to quickly show you this steering mechanism. Because unlike on Mammods, where you've got the steering column, you've actually got a proper steering wheel, which is close to the real thing. Main difference being, we'll just spin this round. But on the real thing, that would be a screw gear, but on that is just a normal gear. So a full turn can be achieved with probably like 1 turn of the steering wheel. And as you can tell, it's very free, almost a bit too free, because on the full size thing where you've got the screw gear there instead, that would stop it from kicking back, and the only thing you've got to bother with is the slack in the chains. Whereas with this, if it goes over a bump, it will quite happily just knock itself into a different direction, which can be a bit annoying. So let's just give this a quick try, see if it's building up any steam. Oh, we're almost there. I'll come back to you in a minute. Alright, we've got it kicking over now. Just firstly just run it on the flywheel just to run it on condensator, as you can put it here. It's gargling a little bit because I think I overfilled the boiler a bit on this occasion. Just check the water gauge. It's fine. Yeah, it's just because it's on a slight downhill slope and it's got some water going up the steam pipe to the cylinder. Just let it run and build up a bit of pressure like. Just let it build up a little bit more steam pressure. And then I'll put it in gear and take it for a little trundle up the definitor. You can start to see the social starting to low, and so that's generally a good sign that I've got pressure. So I'll come back to you in a minute. I'll put it in gear. That was interesting. It's not already done that before, because I just put it in gear and put it in reverse, and it chucked about an entire ocean out of the chimney. It's a bit difficult filming steam engines. I'm really struggling with the regulator on this, it just often closes itself. So it's sort of going, but it's not too happy. It's got a lot of crap coming out the chimney at the moment. Come back to you in a minute once it's running a bit better. It's starting to go a little bit better now. I'll just press the steering. Jaws will slip eccentric. So it's sort of going. You can see what I mean about the steering, it's just going all over the place. Then it just hits a bump and gets a bit stuck. This is going downhill, it's not too bad. He says. If everything gets stuck. And that shows the power that it's got. I think I'll just let it run on the flywheel now and just run the rest of the steam off. So it's steaming down now, and I've put the tyres back on it because it was a bit, it just didn't have any traction without them. They're really on one of them. Haven't got a lot of fire left, so it's just going to tick over and use it the last bit of steam. There we go, that's the end of the run. All I've got to do is take the fire out, empty the boiler, and then clean it up and put it back away. So that should be it for this video, so I'll see you in the next one.